Hi, and welcome to the Silver Screen Show's review of Us, directed by Jordan Peele and starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Shahadi Wright-Joseph, Elizabeth Moss, among others. So this is Jordan Peele's second directorial hyped film, yeah. So we're following on from, well, not directly, but obviously he came out with Get Out before, and now we've got Us, which is families on holiday and they get confronted by their doppelgangers and chaos ensues everywhere. So I'll throw it over to Abu first.
I've got mint in my mouth.
Okay, let's throw it over to Chris first. See, this was the just worst moment for you to pop a mint. Okay, Chris, let's start with you. Let's think your initial reaction to the film.
It was a very original, very engaging film. Perhaps not as scary as Get Out, but certainly worth watching and very memorable.
Okay, great. I agree with that. Are you ready now?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good.
I'm confident enough now. I think overall, it's a great film. And like I said, if you're going in expecting Get Out, then you probably won't be as impressed. It's a totally different film to get. It's more of a straight up horror rather than the whole social commentary that Get Out had, which is great, but this one's not as much of that in it. So if you're not expecting that, you'll enjoy a nice horror. It's kind of a thriller as well. It's not pure horror. I think the second half of it does become a slasher thriller kind of film. But all in all, it's an overall positive film.
So we start off with Lupita as a young girl in Santa Cruz, and something happens to her in a Hall of Mirrors horror house type thing. And we then go forward into present day. She's got her own family and she's returning to a family holiday home, and then they end up going to the same beach where this event happened to her as a child. And we get a complete copy of her family turn up at their house. And
Happens.
obviously they start trying to kill each other, because who wants to have someone who looks like you? So Chris, what positive things have you taken from the film?
There's a lot. I mean, it's not a concept I've seen in a horror before, and horror is sometimes quite a tricky thing to find originality in, so I was impressed in that he was able to do that.
Sure.
Also, in some ways the film goes as ways you'd expect, in other ways it has a complete 180 on you as an audience, and that's pretty fun too.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I think that it does have a nice originality to it. I find that a lot of horror is always like we were saying in another review, we were talking about the balance between jump scares and suspense, and I don't really like horror. It's not one of the genres that I would choose to go and see a lot, but I liked this because it didn't have that. It didn't have all the jump scares. It was more like you were more engrossed in it, and you were just kind of sitting there going, "Oh God, like what's going to happen next?" And I liked the end. I thought that was really good. There's like a little bit of twisty stuff and finding out why they have these doppelgangers, because a lot of the time there's no investigation as to why these horrible things are happening. It's just horrible things are happening, people are going to die, deal with it. Yeah, so I liked that this went a little bit deeper into what was going on. So Abu, your positives?
I think Lupita and Winston Duke are amazing in this film. They definitely do. I think it's Oscar worthy, to be honest. I mean, the fact he plays two roles who are the total opposite of each other, and the emotion she puts in, it was amazing. I think it's really great. I think she pretty much carried the film on her own. But to me personally, I think it was a great performance from her. She should get some sort of recognition for it. Because it's insane how well she played that role. Winston Duke does well. I mean, there's a bit of humour in it as always, but it's not. He kind of plays the dad jokes well enough. I mean, sometimes it does get a bit too much, but overall, I think he nails that role.
I think he plays the character that's very much like doesn't want to acknowledge that something is happening. He's very much like, no.
My boat's amazing.
My boat's amazing. Oh God, it leads to the left. But I don't know if it's like her best performance.
I mean,
I think she does really well.
I've only seen her in 12 Years a Slave other than this.
I think she won an Oscar. Did she?
I'm not sure.
I think she did.
I think she was nominated.
Definitely nominated for that. Yeah. I wouldn't say that she would get an Oscar for this.
She better.
Better or worse than Daniel Kaluuya's performance in Get Out?
Oh, Kaluuya was great, but he didn't win an Oscar for that, did he?
He was nominated.
He was
definitely nominated. I think they're two different roles though, because Kaluuya was more of like the vulnerable.
Yeah, very confused.
Yeah, whereas this one she's like playing two polar opposites of each other.
Yeah.
Though I suppose regarding what you think about the final act, to be honest, personally, I think it jumped a bit too much. Like, it kind of really didn't explain why it happened. You just kind of just have to assume, okay, fair enough, that's what happened. I was kind of like, could I get at least a bit more into why this is happening? I mean, in Get Out, it was like they transfer brains. I'm okay, fair enough, I'll just accept. But this is a bit.
You were less accepting of this one.
This one it's a bit too much of a jump. I want to know a bit more on why this is happening or the reasoning behind it. It doesn't really explain too much.
I think, unfortunately, with horror, if you push too far, the ridiculousness becomes very obvious. So you've got to try and give the audience enough without explaining it too much, and they go, well, that's not possible.
Exactly, yes. I think with this one, kind of, if I just wanted a bit more, just explain the reason behind the doppelgangers rather than, okay, this is it. I'll just accept it as it is.
I think they got it about right, I would say. I wouldn't have wanted to know too much of the finer details because it is quite an outlandish concept.
It pretty much is, Well, I suppose that's probably my biggest pickle with it, is like the final act. To me, I would like a bit more why it's happening rather than just, okay, cool, here it is.
So anything else that you found that was negative?
It's America, where are the guns? This one would have been over straight away with the guns. I was like, okay, if this took place anywhere else apart from America.
I don't know, Santa Cruz. Is Santa Cruz known for a lot of gun violence?
I don't know, everyone's carrying, like, even at the end when they were going through, like, you know, apocalyptic Santa Cruz, no one thought a ransacked police car for a gun. I mean, I don't know if it'll be over straight away. This is a little nitpick I had. I'm like, they didn't even address it. Like, in America, you know, the first thing they expect is let's just shoot the guys outside, they're gonna kill us.
It was, I think, generally a thematic choice from Peele.
Of course,
I think he's gone for it because guns in horror can kind of move into a different genre.
Of course, but it's just the fact I was like, why Winston's character does feel like a guy would have a gun on him just in case. You know, so they didn't explain it. It's like, okay, fair enough. No one, like, I know it'll be overstressed.
It's the glasses, isn't it? I don't think he'd carry a gun.
He's got a boat. There's a gun. Well, he didn't even have a gun in the boat, did he? Not even a flare gun. So.
Oh yeah, see, he's pacifist.
But he's willing to beat you up with a bat though. So.
Yeah, exactly. Don't call the police. I'll handle it. That was the most ridiculous thing for me. I was just like, oh god, like just those little cliches that come into it. This is why I don't really watch horror, because there's too many like cliches about it, and I can't handle it.
Well, I think on the cliche side of things, the film does suffer a lot of cliches.
It's this film did pretty well.
The jump scare, there are a lot of moments where they could have just gone rah.
Like
the Hall of Mirrors. That
the
was
Hall of
perfectly
Mirrors.
I was expecting it, but no. He's like, you know what? You don't need to.
Yeah, and you know when like the daughter's running away from the other daughter. I know.
Which was freaky, man.
She was the scariest character in there.
Like,
she just turns around and she's like. I was just like, Chris, what are your negative thoughts over this?
That was probably one of them, actually, is when she is running and the daughter is running. It almost felt like a side plot, and they had to give a side plot to every member of the family, and sometimes that felt a little bit unnecessary.
Oh yeah, like the son in the cupboard as well. Yeah.
I was more focused on Peele Nyong'o as a character.
I guess that's the downside of having such like a magnetic character. Like all you want to do is watch her, and you don't really care about everybody else.
Cast in a sense,
and we've got to give. We were saying before about Elizabeth Moss. Just that whole family was weird before the doppelgangers turned up.
And I like the whole NWA reference they dropped in them. Like, okay, that was he's saying
all of the times I got 5 on it was playing. Jordan, do you like that song? I feel like you do. So what are we going to say overall about the film? Are we going to see it?
I think you got to watch it, I think. But I think it requires several watches. I think for me to fully embrace it, I'll have to watch it probably once again, even twice, just to understand what's missing. Like for Get Out, I think if you watch it on repeated viewings, you'll enjoy it far more. I think for this, some of the scenes I wasn't really paying attention. Probably some of the dialogue, and I think if I watched it again, we'll probably make it 4 or 5 out of 4 or 5. But for me, I'll probably say it's a 3.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you actually. I found myself kind of drifting off.
It's my first watch, I think.
Yeah, and like I guess when I was talking about Dumbo earlier and saying how like I enjoyed it at the time, and then over time I just looked back at it and go, I don't really like that. This one's the opposite. When I was watching it, I was like, it's okay, and now looking back at it, I'm thinking actually no, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
And what were you saying?
I was impressed by it as a horror.
Yeah.
I would probably give it a 4 out of 5. I think there's enough good stuff going on there for me to give it that.
So if you average it all out, 3.5.
I thought we weren't going into decimals anymore.
I think halves. We'll allow halves, but not like 7.254 something random like that. To average it out, for sake of averaging, we'll give
Okay,
it.
so we're saying Jordan Peele. We like what he's putting out at the moment.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, it's definitely making it refreshing the genre. I mean, like you said, the whole doppelganger. I've not really seen a horror film that really.
Yeah, exactly. It's always like, oh, there's a doll, there's possession, and there's spirits coming
That's
out.
what I liked about like Happy Death Day. Something so fresh, even though it does follow the generic slasher template. It's just something different that you don't see.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, it was the original concept which he executed well as well. Because you had The Purge, which was an interesting concept and became a very staid, trapped in a house.
Yeah, and then they're trying to make like a franchise. I don't know how
many
are there
now?
Like exactly, and you're just like, you know what, just let it die. Yeah, no, I think this is definitely good, and I'm looking forward to whatever he comes out with next.
And it's destroying it at the box office. It made 100 million or like
it's on 118 million, and the budget was 20 mil. I mean,
you can make an insane amount of money in horror.
Yeah, exactly.
Normal Activity had a $30,000 budget. The first one, and made it about the same at the cinemas.
Wow.
It's the Blumhouse method, isn't it? They make these cheap horrors for like 10 million and make like 100 million back. No.
Exactly, and like.